Physical media man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another Physical Media Man Monday video. Before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man store Instagram page, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man store, my Facebook page for non-media related items to Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, and my Letterboxd account. I just want to do a video. This will be the last week for my local movie theater to be in business. They have not made an official announcement, which I don't really understand. I don't know if they weren't sure on the date or if they still aren't sure on the date of their closing. I live in a small town, about 12,000 people, and this theater opened in 2000. So I'm beyond sad to see it go. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. I did write an article for my local newspaper. I don't know, as of now, it has not been posted, or I don't know if it's going to be. I haven't heard back, but I might go ahead and read it here for this video as well. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things about it that made it special to me, and some of my experiences with it, as well as just maybe a little bit about the state of movie theaters in the current climate. So, like I said, it opened in 2000. Like I said, I'm in a small town. It's called Greensburg, Indiana, and the movie theater is called Wolf Theaters. And the nearest theater besides that, there's one that's about 15 to 20 minutes away in Batesville, Indiana, called the Gibson Theater. That was the very first theater I ever watched a film in, which I don't really remember that experience per se. It is a really neat theater, just a single screen. I have been there in the last 10 years probably. Still really neat. And then there's one about 30 minutes going a couple different ways, though one of them, they had an AMC and then Yes Cinema, which is I think it's independent as well. But the AMC is also supposedly closing in the other town, which another one I don't think they've made an announcement or anything. But yeah, I worked at my local movie theater. It was my very first real job, though it was like a high school job. But I worked there from 2006 to 2013. And like, it's one of my favorite jobs, I think, mostly because that had something to do with movies and helped me grow my love of movies. And you can see I'm still a big movie fan, and I really like to go to the movie theater when I can. I did go a lot more during that time I worked there, just because I got in free. That was one of the perks of being an employee. But I'm going to go ahead and show off this stuff and then read the article, and then maybe say a few other things. So this was the original shirt from when they opened in 2000, and I got to wear it for a couple years, I think. I do kind of want to, if I ever actually get like a theater room, I would like to get this kind of framed. I know it's kind of ridiculous, but I just always thought it was a neat shirt, and just a cool thing to still have. And then you had to wear a hat when I initially started, so I wore this Spider-Man 2 hat all the time. I think I had another one or two, but this was my favorite hat I had. And then I think they went to these next, and there was different colors, just a t-shirt. I know I had an orange one and a blue one, I think, but there's that one. We also had one that had a collar on it, but it was a terrible color, and that was a nice thing about these yellow ones. You couldn't see like the butter and stuff that got on your shirt. And the collared one, really, it showed stains and stuff. And then we got these like dry fit ones here at some point. So yeah, this was just a independent, family-owned movie theater that unfortunately is closing their doors. Last I've heard is May 3rd. So you're seeing this, hopefully, if you watch the day the day the video comes out, you'd be watching this Monday, April 27th. So the next Sunday is supposed to be the last day from what I've heard. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article. I'll try to, hopefully they post it. I don't know if they will or not. If they do, I'll definitely make sure to share it all over the place. Let's see, I got the title of Sad Day for Greensburg as Wolf Theaters Has Its Last Howl. Though their website or Facebook page hasn't made an official announcement, Wolf Theaters is closing on or around May 1st through the 3rd. These rumors have unfortunately been making their rounds these last few months. I've confirmed with employees of the theater that they are indeed closing. They are indeed closing, and I got an extra closing. Business/establishments don't typically get obituaries, so here's my tribute to a place I'm beyond sad to see close its doors. The theater opened in 2000 and has been one of the main forms of entertainment in our community for the last 26 years. It has hosted countless birthday parties, midnight showings, date nights, and opening weekends, and went from a 6-plex to a 10-plex back to a 6-plex. Noble Roman's Pizza is also sold inside the theater the last few years. My earliest theater memories are from Wolf. Even though my first show was at the Gibson in Batesville, Wolf will always be my home theater. I remember going to a birthday party screening of Remember the Titans. I started working there the same year I got my driver's license. It was my first job and remained one of my favorites and most memorable over the years. It helped grow my love of movies and going to the movie theater. The free passes for employees helped, but so did the movie discussions with coworkers in the lobby while patrons were watching their movie. I watched so many films I wouldn't have if I wasn't working at the theater. Enjoying a movie with friends, parents, or your significant other always made the experience better. I'm glad we were able to take our 4-year-old to a few films before Wolf closes. Her asking when are we going to the movies next made it priceless. Similar to playing sports, it also taught me a lot of life lessons and how to be a good employee, have a work schedule, etc. The people I worked with also made it so much fun. Besides some of the managers, most of them were also in high school or college too. We all got along really well. Some of them remain good friends to this day. I'm hopefully getting a group of us together to go to one of these last show times. I remember how busy we used to be on the weekends when I worked there, especially early on. The lines would be out the door and most of the theaters would be full for those weekends shows. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the big summer blockbusters have been as consistent as they once were. Losing Treasure Island, which was a local rental store, Blockbuster, Hollywood Video years ago feels similar, but this one hurts more. Thank you to all former employees, ownership, and those involved with the theater over the years. Greensburg has been lucky to have this independent movie theater in its backyard for the last 26 years. Since it's too late to save, here's my howl cry for you to go out and watch a film this last week they're open. Let's pack the theater one last time. I know I'm going to sure miss this place that holds so many great memories. So yeah, that was what I came up with. Hopefully they post it, but I don't feel like it's gotten any news or headlines. I don't know if that was their idea or they didn't want anything to be said about it. Recently, Dee Wallace of E.T. fame was at a local screening of E.T. and one of the other films she starred in at Wolf Theaters. So that was pretty neat, and that just happened recently. So I'm beyond sad. I don't know what to say. But yeah, I wanted to also mention some other things that we did. I feel like there's a movie somewhere and all the crazy things we did while we were working there, and just similar to Clerks, just the banter. A lot of people were watching their movie, just talking about other movies or other things like that. At least once or twice I remember doing a sweeping race between another employee in the aisles. Also, when I started, I think minimum wage was $5 or $5.50, something like that. So that's what I made, at least at the time. But they also had a cleaning crew on the weekends, which was at least Saturday morning. It might have only been Saturday morning. I can't remember if it was Saturday and Sunday both. It might have been. It's been a while. But for that, you got paid $10 an hour instead, and it was 2 hours, I think. So I did that as often as I could. A lot of times I did the bathrooms for whatever reason. I do remember another thing was going into each theater. So like I said, it started out as a 6-plex, and then it increased to a 10. This would have been during the 6-plex time when I was initially doing this. And then it went to a 10-plex and then back to a 6-plex. But I remember going behind the aisles with like a leaf blower and blowing out all the stuff that we couldn't get in between shows. And then I think the other thing was like cleaning the lobby. But yeah, another thing I have fond memories of are going to a few Thursday night screenings. So these would be late Thursday night, just to make sure everything worked well with the film. So we got to see some things the day before they actually came out. Two ones that definitely stick out are 300 and Watchmen, which I didn't really know anything about going into and ended up really enjoying those. I also got really yelled at one time for burning popcorn, which I didn't actually do. I think when the manager went upstairs, because a lot of times the manager went upstairs, especially when I first started, because we actually had the film, so they were the ones that were having to go up and actually start the movies and get everything set up for that. But I think I was in charge of the popcorn when he left, and then I ended up going and cleaning the theaters after the shows ended, and somebody else took over and they burnt the popcorn, and I got yelled at like really badly yelled at for it. Also, another random memory, I remember running up the steps, because I cleaned a lot after the shows ended, and Rocky Balboa, the end credits for that are the Rocky theme, so running up the steps and acting like Rocky. I also got a lot of movie posters from working at the movie theater, which is pretty neat. I actually still have, this was from a live stream on Mega Mike the Movie, or Mega Mike the Movie Man. So yeah, I had this on display for that. But yeah, this was from one of my days working at the movie theater. But yeah, I think that's all the things I really wanted to highlight. Oh, also, this wasn't, I don't think I was working at the movie theater at the time. I remember going to see either Jackass or Jackass Part 2 with some friends. And I don't know if we were actually old enough to get in, but we were able to. And it was so full that we had to sit on the steps of the theater. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. And yeah, just sad to see it close. I'll try to show, I took some senior pictures there actually. I'll try to show those at the end of this video. I also will show a picture of the inside of it now, a couple pictures of that, and then the outside of it now. I took those. My wife and I, Jordan, went to Project Hail Mary over the weekend as well. I was trying to go there as often as I could before they closed. So like I said, I'm trying to get a group of former employees together to go to one last screening. That last weekend they were open. But yeah, like I said, of course, it seems like, I think AMC recently announced they've closed a bunch of theaters. I think Alamo Drafthouse has closed a few, if I'm not mistaken. I know the theaters are definitely struggling. It's so fun to go watch a movie at the theater, especially for me. Mine was right down the road. But honestly, we hadn't gone as much as we would have liked the last few years, but it's just so hard with kids. And luckily, this last weekend when we watched Project Hail Mary, both sets of our parents watched the girls while we went. But yeah, I mean, I know theaters are not going to close altogether. They'll still be there, at least in the big cities, if not everywhere. But it's just really sad to see my favorite theater close its doors. And yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what else to say. Hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't yet done so, please make sure to subscribe and go out and watch a movie at your local theater. So yeah, this is the Physical Media Man signing off. Physical media will never die. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man.